2018 was a pivotal year for the gaming industry. As consumers, our outlook on game companies changed drastically. When Telltale Games unexpectedly shut down in September, many gamers were exposed for the first time to the toxic mismanagement of large development studios. Within a few weeks of this, Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser made a fucking oopsie whoopsie by revealing that some employees had worked up to 100 hours a week on Red Dead Redemption 2. The result of this was an industry-wide discussion of how game workers are treated, with some pretty important steps towards unionization. In 2018, we listened to the stories of these developers, and witnessed the love and passion they have for gaming. It should come as no surprise then, that the most important game of 2018 wasn't developed by a large studio, but an individual developer with a strong vision. Wandersong is a musical adventure game developed by Greg Lobanov, and it's also my favourite game of the year. Greg worked on the mechanics and design of Wandersong himself, receiving help from McGladdery and Halberstadt for the soundtrack and sound design respectively. In Greg's own words, Wandersong is a game about feelings.
Yeah, so we approached the emotional experience of the game as kind of like the primary goal of it. So we considered every aspect of the game with a question of just, how do we want to make the player feel when they play this? And we let our answer to that kind of guide the design, and that kind of took precedent in many places over questions about difficulty curve, complexity, and all that other kind of stuff.
It's true that feelings are at the core of Wandersong. The feelings of the characters, the player, and even Greg himself are placed in the limelight. The music wheel, the player's main source of interaction, is designed to encourage expression of feelings. It basically asks us to share ourselves with the mechanics of the game. Greg's unique design philosophy serves as a reminder that game development can be much more freeing than it seems, and Wandersong appears to take great pride in rule breaking. The main character, an adorable bard, can barely lift a sword. As such, the game features no direct combat. Conflict is resolved by sharing our feelings through song, and by hoping that those feelings are reciprocated. Often they are reciprocated. The world is filled with such love and detail that even minor interactions give feedback to the player, rewarding them for experimenting and thinking creatively. The game is also filled with optional secrets. The most memorable experiences I had with Wandersong involved going off the beaten path and finding exciting things. Characters will often have optional dialogue or react to your actions in different ways, but the most notable secrets are dance moves. In every act there's a small secret room. The way you find them is different each time, but each one gives you a dance move. That's right, you can dance in this game too. The dances are a perfect motivation, I think. They don't impact the gameplay and they're purely cosmetic, but they add an extra layer of interactivity to the game and most importantly, allow you to express yourself even further. Expression is tied into the mechanics in a very elegant way. The concept of the music wheel is stretched as far as it can, and it leads to several interesting level mechanics. Each act ends with a dungeon of sorts. This is where the bulk of the puzzles and platforming take place. Each of these has a unique core mechanic which drives the level design. One of my favorites has the player control the flow of time by cycling through the wheel in different directions, but you can also freeze time by singing one continuous note. This leads to some pretty interesting puzzles, and the whole game is filled with things like this. No level is the same, and it's rare that a concept is recycled later on. It's abundantly clear how much passion and energy was put into the design of Wandersong. Greg seems to truly love his mechanics and takes them as far as they can go. I won't talk any more about these levels because part of the joy is discovering the mechanics for yourself, but I will say that every single one is creatively inspired and very fun. But the best part of the game, and the area where Wandersong's feelings shine brightest, is the story. I am not afraid to say that Wandersong's story filled my heart with such childlike joy that upon its conclusion I wept like a little baby boy. I'm gonna try my hardest not to spoil anything, by the way. I wouldn't want to do that to you. I guess I'll start with the characters, because this is a character-driven story. I'm just gonna call the main character the Bard, because you get to choose his name. Speaking of which, the way you name him is pretty weird. Your choices are limited to 8 letters at a time, and it has to be 4 letters long. At first this kinda annoyed me, but I think it's the right choice. The Bard is not supposed to be an avatar for the player. He's his own character, and it would be strange to give him your own name, which this discourages. It's best if the player doesn't imprint themselves on the Bard too much, because he's an incredibly strong character in his own right. In fact, the Bard may be one of my favourite characters in gaming. He's really fucking adorable. He totally fits that trope of the naively optimistic protagonist, making friends with everyone, that kind of thing. Well, like, man, he's just a really endearing protagonist. It's a popular archetype for a reason, I guess. He's basically an anime protagonist, but like emotionally mature. He's conflicted, but incredibly sincere. I'm trying hard not to spoil anything, but at a certain point of the game you begin to notice the toll that his adventure is taking on him, and that really attached me to the character. Another highlight is Miriam, your adventuring buddy, and a character that would probably surpass the Bard if I didn't have the bias of playing as him. The relationship between these two characters is the best part of the story. One conversation they have at a concert is my favourite moment in the whole game. I can't go into much detail about why I love these characters so much without spoilers, but there's something special. These characters share themselves with the player and encourage you to do it too. I think I just really like things that teach me about dealing with emotions. Beyond the main characters, Wandersong also has some amazing side characters. Each act introduces a new cast, basically, who help you fulfill your goal for that section. Almost always, these characters will have some sort of mini arc of their own, where they learn something new about themselves. I'll quickly go through some of my favourites. Ash is an accordion player who recently lost his mother. His arc is particularly beautiful. Captain Lucas is a charming pirate and a hopeless romantic. He's just a really fun character. Winston is a loner who just wants a friend, which is a pretty heartwarming little story. I could keep going, but I'll spare you. The point is that this game has some pretty incredible characters with some great writing. I felt completely engaged with the story very soon after I started the game. That doesn't happen often. I can't express how much I love the writing in this game. It's not just that the characters are interesting, but that they engage with the story and grow in dramatic and exciting ways. The game feels like a true adventure. I feel very sad when I have to leave these characters behind, but the thought of what might come next is exciting every time. I guess I'll talk about how the game impacted me now, like what did I get out of Wandersong personally, and honestly it sounds cheesy but it gave me hope. It reaffirmed something I already knew but doubted pretty often, and that's that anybody can make a difference if they treat others well. You don't have to be born special to make an impact, and touching individual lives can be just as important as saving the world. That's a really cheesy takeaway, but I think that's what the game was trying to get across. Alternatively, Wandersong inspired me creatively. It got me thinking about my own stories and how I'd like to tell them, how I can share a bit of myself with the rest of the world. Wandersong is a testament to the creativity and vision that an individual can have. It's a celebration of you, the player, and your impact on others. As an actual game, it serves as a reminder of how special game developers are. Just thinking about the hard work and passion that was poured into this game hurts my brain. Greg is actually working on another game at the moment called Draw Dog, which looks adorable, so look forward to that. But in the meantime, share yourself with Wandersong, it's pretty good. Thanks for watching my video. Let me know what your game of the year was in the comments. I didn't get a chance to play everything and I love recommendations, so go crazy. I have lots of other video ideas which I'm pretty excited to make, so you should also subscribe probably. Oh, also if you found this interesting you should leave a like. Those always put me in a good mood. Thanks.